today's topic for the discussion is producer behavior and supply analysis. That is the 5th chapter of your textbook standard 12. Producer behavior and supply analysis. It is what is the behavior of the producer towards the supply, right? Because demand is from the consumer side, whereas supply of the goods or the commodity is from the side of the producer. The manufacturer or the producer of the commodity supplies the commodity by analyzing the demand of the commodity. Now we will see how we will analyze the supply concept. Supply refers to what? The term supply refers to the quantity of a commodity which the sellers are able to sell. This is supply. The sellers are able to sell the quantity which our suppliers are able to sell, and they are willing to sell. They are willing to sell. Alright, then quantity and the time period is also included. We also include the quantity and the time period factor. Till now we have done the demand of the commodity. That the demand of the commodity means when the producer is making the goods. When the consumer is demanding the goods, that is when you have a desire to buy the goods, and once you have the desire to buy the goods, you have the ability to buy and you have the willingness to buy those goods. That was the demand side. The other side of the coin is supply aspect. Supply means you are able to produce the goods, right? When you have produced the goods, you are able to sell those goods in the market or launch those goods in the market. Even if you are able to sell, sometimes you say, okay, I don't want to sell in this market. So you have to have the second thing into consideration is willing to sell those goods. And what are you selling? You are selling a certain quantity of goods in a definite time period. Alright, you are selling certain quantity of goods in a definite time period. So the term ability to sell refers to the stock that a seller possesses at a given time, okay, and willingness means that the seller wants to sell. Able to sell means you have a stock, and willing to sell means you are ready to sell that stock. Able means I know I have the stock, I can sell it anytime I want. And willingness to sell means yes, you are ready to supply the goods. You will supply the goods in certain quantity and in a certain time period. Quantity could be anything. If you are selling, it may be in kgs, it could be in meters, it could be in liters. So quantity could be anybody. These are all the units. Alright, time period is, it could be in, suppose daily, something you are supplying daily. For example, milk that is being supplied daily on a regular basis. Sometime it could be weekly, fortnight and monthly and so on. So supply is when you are able to sell and you are willing to sell a commodity, that too a quantity, particular quantity of a commodity in a definite time period. Alright, that is known as supply. Now there is often a confusion between supply of a commodity and stock. Supply of a commodity and stock are two different important issues. What is the difference between supply and stock? Stock is exactly the output or the goods that are manufactured. The goods that are manufactured are known as stock. Supply means whatever you are selling, whatever is being ready to be sold. Alright, so supply is a part of the stock, right? So stock is the whole thing that has been produced. Maybe you are keeping aside something and selling the rest, or you may be selling the whole of the thing. So when you are selling the whole of the thing, means you are supplying the whole output. But if you are supplying or selling a part of your stock, that means whatever is ready to be sold, or whatever is ready to be supplied, or whatever is to be launched in the market is known as supply. So supply is a part of a stock. Stock is a wider term which includes all the goods that have been manufactured. Sometimes all the goods are not sold or supplied in the market, they are kept with the producer himself. So whatever is supplied in the market is known as the supply portion of the aspect. So this is the basic concept of supply when you study these things for supply. Now we will study what do you mean by the individual supply and how you make the supply schedule and supply curve. Then what do you mean by the market supply, market curve and market schedules. First is individual supply. Individual supply, and you will study supply schedule and supply curve. First you will see what does the word individual supply means. It indicates various quantities of a commodity that an individual seller is willing to sell in the market at different prices. When you talk of individual supply, it means the quantities supplied by in an individual. We are talking about just one seller or individual seller at different prices. So quantities that is supplied by an individual seller. Individual supply means not one quantity exactly. Individual supply means when you're talking about an individual seller. So quantities, there are different quantities that are supplied in the market. Suppose there are two markets. This is A market and this is B market. Alright, here he is supplying 20 kgs every day. Here he is supplying 50 kgs every day. Here he is supplying at the rate of rupees 3. Here he is supplying at the rate of rupees 4. So this is supplied by a single seller, Mr. A. So this is the individual supply. When there are different quantities supplied at different prices in different markets by a single seller or by an individual seller, it is known as the individual supply. I repeat, individual supply indicates various quantities of a commodity that an individual seller is willing to sell in the market at different prices. The concept of individual supply will be, I'll explain you with the help of the schedule and the individual supply curve. Individual supply schedule. First is how to make a schedule or a table. Whenever you have the different figures that you put in a tabular form that are interconnected with each other or they have interrelationship with each other is known as the schedule or the individual supply schedule. Individual supply schedule goes like this. You have price. Suppose we have price of the commodity X and you have the supply of the commodity X. As we did in demand, it is just the same. Thing is, as you increase, as the prices are increasing, supply will also increase. It is just the opposite. We studied in demand, as the prices increase, the demand falls or the demand goes down. But when the prices are increasing, when the producer knows that the price of a particular good is increasing, he will supply more so that he can earn more profits. So the prices are being from, say suppose it is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Alright, supply is also increasing. It is suppose 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25. Alright, this is the price and the supply schedule of the commodity X that is given to you. Let's see. When the price of the commodity is 2, the supply is 5 units. When the prices increase, see there is an increase in the prices from rupees 2 to rupees 4. Alright, so the supply of the commodity also increases from 5 units to 10 units. When the prices rise from 4 to 6, the supply rises from 10 to 15 units. 6 to 8, it becomes 15 to 20, and when the price increase from 8 to 10 units, it becomes 20 to 25. So as the prices increase, the supply also increase. The relationship between the price and the supply is similar, that is, it is not the opposite. Whereas in demand we did, the relationship between price and the demand or the quantity demanded was opposite. As the prices increased, the demand did quantity fell down. But if you talk about the individual supply, or if you talk about the supply schedule, as the prices are increasing, so the supply also goes on increasing. This is the supply schedule of the individual, that is the individual supply schedule. Next is the individual supply curve of the same schedule. We will have OY axis, OX axis. OX axis we have the quantity supplied. OY axis we have the price. We have the quantity supplied on OX axis, and OY axis we have the price of the commodity. Let's write the price of the commodity. It is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. On the OX axis we have the quantity supplied, that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Alright. Now as the price is increasing, when the price is 2, the commodity supplied is 2, then it rises to 4, then it rises to 6, then it rises to 8, and finally it becomes 10. So this is individual supply schedule. Alright, this is, you name it as SS curve. This is the supply curve, individual supply curve. See, it is going up, whereas the demand curve used to come down. So as the prices are increasing, supply increase. This shows that there is a positive or a direct relationship between the prices of the commodity and the quantity supplied. As the prices are increasing, so in that direction only the quantity supplied also increases. This is an individual supply curve. It is a graphical representation of the individual supply schedule showing different prices. What it is showing, there are different quantities are supplied at different prices, but of the individual seller. So what is an individual supply curve? Individual supply curve is when an individual seller is supplying different quantities of goods and at different prices. This is the individual supply curve. Let's move on to the market supply. What is market supply? What is market supply schedule? And what is market supply curve? Market supply. It shows various quantities of a commodity that all sellers are willing to sell in the market at various prices and at different prices. This is known as market schedule. The definition is the same. We had the individual. There are different commodities sold at various prices by different suppliers. This is the market schedule. You have different suppliers and you have number of suppliers. You can say all suppliers or different suppliers. We have the same definition of the individual. The difference is that we have here different suppliers. There we had individual supplier. Here we had different suppliers. That makes up the market supply. So different commodities are sold at various prices by different suppliers or are available in the market by different suppliers. Let's make up the market supply schedule. Market supply schedule is a statement showing different quantities of a commodity offered for sale by all the sellers of the market at different prices. Alright, so how it goes, you have again price suppose of commodity X, right, and you had the individual supply. Now you will have the supply by all the producers. You have the quantity supplied of the commodity X by Mr. A, Mr. B and Mr. C. These are three different producers and who are supplying the goods. Let's see the prices. Suppose prices are 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Now we will see the supply of the goods by the different sellers. We have 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25. This is the supplied quantity by Mr. A. Mr. B is, suppose this is 0 here, he is not supplying anything. Then you have 5, 10, 20 and 35. You can take anything. 35. Then you can have 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, anything. 5, 10, 15. You can have 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. So you have variations everywhere. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now how you will make the schedule? Will you make 3 individual diagrams? No. We will sum it up and we will make it. Right? We will find out the market supply. Market supply means addition of all. So this is 10. This is 25. This is 45, 70, 100. So you have 10, 25, 45, 70 and 100. This means at the price of 2, the total supply is 10 units. At the price of 4, total supply is 25 units. At the price of 6, total supply is 45 units. At the price of 8, total supply is 70 units. At the price of 10, total supply is 100 units. This is the market supply of the goods, and we will be depicting, or we will be drawing the market supply, that is the aggregate. We will make the market supply curve schedule that we had made earlier. We will help with the help of the figures that we have just prepared. We will make the curve. The curve will definitely be made with the help of a scale. Alright, this is OY axis, this is OX axis. On OY axis we have the price of the commodity, and on OX axis we have the total quantity supplied. Alright, now we will have the prices 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, and we will have the quantity supplied 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So everything will be included. 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100. Now we will get back to the curve. At the price of 2, the total market supply is 10. At the price of 2, 10 units are supplied. Alright, next is at the price of 425 are supplied. At the price of 425 units are supplied. At the price of 645 units are supplied. At the price of 645 units are supplied. At the price of 870 and at the price of 1000. Right? This is the supply schedule. Right? This is the supply schedule. At the 4 it is 25. Alright, then 6 it is 45, then at 8 it is 70, it is somewhere 70, and at 10 it is 100. At 10 it is 100. Alright, this is how the supply schedule goes. At different prices, how the supplied quantity is increasing. So market demand schedule, market demand we have studied, it is a graphical representation of a market supply schedule showing different commodities, quantity of a commodity supplied by the sellers all together. See, this is the quantity supplied by all the sellers, not an individual sellers, but all the sellers together in the market at different prices at a given time and place. It shows the total quantity of a commodity made available for sale in the market by all the sellers together at different prices at a given time and place. So it is an upward rising curve, as we have seen. The curve rises upwards. Alright, so this is supply, the prices are increasing. Here the curve goes this way. This is the supply curve. Whereas as we see the demand, it goes down. So this is the demand curve and that is the supply curve. Next thing that we will study is determinants or factors of market supply, which means what are the factors which are helpful or what are the factors matter in the supply of the commodity in the markets. Determinants or factors of market supply. What are the factors that affect the supply of goods in the market? There are various factors that influence the supply of a commodity in the market. We will study those factors. First is, and the most important, as we did in the demand also, is price of the commodity. The most determining or the most promising factor is the price of the commodity. If the price of the commodity is reasonable or price of the commodity is within the reach, or the price of the commodity is such set in the market, then only the producers will be supplying the goods in the market. If they see the prices are below than what they have put in the cost, so they will not supply the quantity. Price is the most important factor. If they find the price to be right and according to that they can earn the profits also, then only the goods will be supplied in the market. So price of the commodity means the commodity that is being sold in the market has a certain price, and that price has been acceptable by the producer, then only he is supplying the goods in the market. Next is availability of inputs. If you are into the production activity, definitely you must be requiring some raw materials or some inputs to produce the goods. If those inputs or raw materials are not available to you when you have to produce the goods, you will not be able to supply the goods. So market supply or supply of the goods also depend on the availability of the inputs. You need to have certain resources. It could be anything. See, inputs means it could be raw materials. Inputs could be your capital, input could be labor. These are all the inputs. These are all the inputs. It could be raw material, capital, labor. If any of the input is missing, you will not be able to supply the commodity in the markets. Or if there are shortage of inputs, your commodity would be supplied in a less quantity. Next is cost of production. Supply, a rise in the production cost may reduce the supply. If I am producing, suppose I am producing goods and my raw material has become costly. So what will happen? The cost of production will also go up. Cost of production means the cost that is involved in the production of the particular commodity. Alright, so that will include everything, the raw material that I have purchased, I have to take out the money out of it. So the raw material, labor, if the raw material, price of the raw material rises, or the price of the labor increases, the cost of production will also rise. If the cost of production is rising or is increasing, I will not be able to produce a large amount of commodity. Then only small amount of commodity will be produced, and hence a small or a less amount of commodity will be supplied. But if the cost of the inputs is less, then the cost of production will be less and more quantity could be supplied or generated or produced at the same cost, and it could be supplied in the market. The next factor, nature of market. Nature of market means supply is also influenced by the nature of market. You will study further that what are the different types or what are the nature of market. You have the monopolistic market, you have the perfect competition market, you have the monopoly market. See, if you have a monopoly market, or that means only you are the supplier of that particular goods, then you have to rely on those goods and you have to make a continuous supply of those goods, because there is no other producer who is supplying the goods. So nature of market means if your market is a monopolistic market, that means you are the only producer or you are the only supplier of that good, then you have to supply those goods, then supply of those goods or of the goods, and that should be on the regular basis. But if you have to earn profits, then what you could do, you can just control the supply of the goods and create a shortage in the market, and because there is no other supplier, definitely people will come to you to take the goods, so you can increase the cost and you can earn higher profits. But if you talk about the other market, that is known as the monopolistic market, see, suppose you have different brands of soaps. You have Lux, you have Nirma, you have Rexona, you have Lakme, you have Dove. There are many brands of soaps that are available in the market. So what happens that if you want to go and buy some kind of a soap, if that soap is not available, you have the other choice. Alright, so the supply does not get very much affected in that case when you have a brand or you have a different choice. Next is distribution facilities. Distribution facilities means you have to have a network through which your goods are being supplied. You cannot go produce and sell the goods yourself. You need to sell the goods through somebody. There may be wholesalers to your products, there may be retailers again, or directly from wholesalers to consumers, or directly from, there is a chain from producers to wholesalers, wholesalers to retailers, retailers to the final consumers. Then you have the transport system, which transport system you are following. That all comes under distribution facilities. If your distribution facility is strong, if you have good distribution quality support, then definitely you will supply more of the products in the market. But if you have a weak or a loose distribution facility or distribution chain is not very strong, then your supply of the commodity will also be less. Next is nature of workforce. Nature of workforce means the supply is influenced by the nature of workforce available to the producers. If you have good people working for you, if you have competent and experts working for you, then you will be able to produce more in a less time, wasting less of resources, using the most of the time, and you will be producing more and henceforth supplying more. But if you don't have people who are expert in their ground, or you have incompetent people, there will be a lot of wastage of resources, there will be wastage of time, and you will not be able to make proper market supplies on time and in right quantity. Next is technology. The type of technology used by the producers also affects. See, if you think if you want to supply more, you need to produce more. If you are producing more of the commodity, means you have to use that upgraded technology. If your technology is updated technology, you will be able to make more out of what is given to you. You will make more of goods and you will supply more goods. So technology plays an important part in the supply of the goods. Next feature, government policies. See, there are certain government policies which help you to supply more or less of the goods. Sometimes the government strategies are very strict and very stern that it reduces the supply is automatically reduced. Like you have very strict licensing policies, or government is imposing very much taxes on the producers. So if the producers are paying more money in the taxes, they are putting less on the production of the goods, and the supply also remains short. So government policy, which includes licensing, it includes taxes, incentives, these are all influencing the supply in the market. On certain goods, government also provides subsidies, or you can buy the imports at a lesser rate. So even that the supply increases. So government policy is another factor that is influence the market supply. Next is exports and imports. Exports reduce the quantity of the supply within the country. Imports increase the supply in the domestic country. See, exports means how you know if I am producing something and I am exporting that. That means what? I am supplying less in my country, and in order to earn the foreign currency or dollars or pounds or yens, I am supplying my goods outside the country. So if there are more exports, if I am exporting the goods more in the country, outside the country, that means I am contributing less in my own country. In my own country I am not supplying, I am supplying everything outside. So there is less supply or shortage supply or no supply when there are more exports. But when there are more imports, means I am getting more in my own country and selling to my own people. So supply increases when there are more imports. Next is substitutes. Substitutes means the availability of cheap substitutes or the substitutes, that is some other brand. So supply increases or decreases what? With the help of substitutes. It is availability of cheap may reduce the supply of commodity in the market. If cheap means inferior means low quality, cheap means at a reduced rate. If you are supplying some kind of soap in the market, right, and your competitor is also supplying soap, but he is supplying a good quality soap but at a less price, so your supply will go down because there is no demand of your commodity in the market, whereas the other person's quantity is demanded more, so he is supplying more. So substitutes also affects the market supply. Next is demand of the commodity. Definitely if there is more demand of the commodity, the supply will be more. If the demand of the commodity falls short, the supply will also come down. When you don't have the demand, why will you supply the goods? Next, future expectations. Future expectations means when you know that the commodity that you are producing or supplying in the market, the prices will increase in the future, then today you will lessen your supply. Today I know that if I supply the goods, I will get just 12 rupees. Now tomorrow if I supply a lot of goods, I will get 15 rupees. So today you will supply less. Because if today you will supply more, then you will not be able to earn a lot of profit. So you will stop the supply today because you know tomorrow the goods prices will go up. So you will supply when the prices of the goods are high. So future expectations are very important factor in the supply of the goods. Next factor that is important is number of producers. Number of producers means if the same commodity as you are producing, if there are many suppliers or producers to the same commodity, your supply will be less because you are all producing the same commodity and your supply has to be less because all are supplying in bulk. So everything will not be consumed. So it will all be according to the demand. If there are many producers, then your supply goes down. If there are less producers, then you will produce more and supply more and earn more of profits. Next is size of the market. Size of the market, if the market is large, then your supply will be more. But if the market is small, you are dealing in. If the market is small in which you deal in, then your supply will be very small. Next and the last is promotional activities. Promotional activities, advertising, sales promotion. There will be, if the promotional activities are increasing, you have increased the promotional activities, then you are producing or supplying more of goods, right? But increase the demand and you will produce more and supply more. See, if you have good product promotional activities, advertising, sales promotion, if they are very good, or you are making lot of promotional activities, doing lot of promotional ventures, then definitely the demand will also increase. If the demand is increasing, you will produce more. If you are producing more, you will supply more. So more promotional activities will lead to high or more supply of the goods in the market. But in the same way, if the promotional activities are less, people don't know about your products, or they are least bothered or attracted towards your products, then they will demand less. You will produce less and you will supply less. So these are the factors that are affecting the supply in the market. Next is we will study the law of supply. As we studied the law of demand, same is we have the law of supply also. The law of supply establishes the functional relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity supplied in the market. When other things being equal, the quantity of a commodity is directly related to the price, right? So price and quantity supplied are directly related. Directly related means if the prices are increasing, quantity supplies increase. If the prices decrease, the quantity supplied also decrease. And other things remaining the same. Other things means we did the other factors, the 15 factors, all 14 remain the same, only price plays a major role. Other things remaining the same. This is known as ceteris paribus, as we always do. Only price plays a major role, whereas other factors remain the same. This is said by Marshall, and this is the supply, and this is Sx equals to function of, you have S means supply of commodity, X is the function of price of the commodity. So supply of X, it should be supply of the commodity X equals to the function of the price of commodity X. Right? Now I will draw the supply schedule, make up the supply schedule. Supply schedule, let us make the supply schedule. What all we have? We have the price and the quantity. We have the price of the commodity X and we have the quantity supplied of commodity X. Let us see price be 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, and let us take the commodity as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. See, as the prices are increasing from 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8 and 8 to 10, the quantity supplied also increases from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20 and 20 to 25. So there is a direct relationship between the price and the quantity, that is, as the prices increase, the quantity supplied also increases. This is the supply schedule. With the help of the supply schedule and with the same figures, we will make the supply curve. This is the supply curve. This is the same figures we are using as we used in the supply schedule. So supply, this is OY and this is OX. This is quantity supplied and this is price. Alright. So we will see the price is how much? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and quantity supplied is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Alright. So at price 2, the supply is 5. At price 4, it rises to 10. At 6, it rises to 15. At 8, it rises to 20. And at 10, it rises to 25. So the supply curve is upward movement. As the price rises, the supply also rises. Alright. At 2, it is 5. At 4, it is 15. At 6, at 4 it is 10, I'm sorry. At 6 it is 15. At 8 it is 20. At 10 it is 25. This is the supply curve, right? You have as the prices are going down, supply also comes down. as the prices are increasing, supply also increases. Alright, this is the supply curve and the supply schedule and the curve. Now we will move on to the next topic, that is assumptions in the law of supply. The law of supply, again the concept I repeat, the law of supply means the quantity that is supplied in the market has a direct relation or that's direct proportion to the price of that is exist for a particular commodity, other things remaining the same. Now we will study the assumptions under it. Assumptions mean certain things you assume that okay, this is there, then only the law of supply will work. This is assumed to be there, this is assumed to be there. So certain things have been assumed or taken for granted that okay, this is there, the particular aspect is present, then only this law of supply works. What are the different assumptions? First is the price of the substitutes remain unchanged. What do you mean by this term, price of the substitutes remain unchanged? This is an assumption. See, suppose if you say the law of supply works when the price increases, supply also increases. But what happened if the substitutes also prices they fall down? If the substitutes prices fall down, what will happen to your supply? Even if the prices are increasing, your supply will go down because people will buy from the other producers whose prices have gone down. If you are producing, suppose you are producing Coke, the other is producing Coca-Cola. Okay, you are supplying for ₹25, right? So even if the prices are increasing, you will increase the supply because even if at a higher price, the people are ready to buy. But what if the other person, he is supplying at 18? He was supplying at ₹18. Right, and you are supplying at ₹25. So definitely if he is supplying at 18, that is at a lower price, you will not be able to push up your supply with the increase in the prices. That will definitely go down because people will prefer the other product whose prices are less. But it is assumed that prices do not change. There is nothing like this. Only your brand is there and the prices of this remains constant. So that is an assumption. We think that other things are remaining the same, only price of your product changes. Next assumption that we make is no change in the cost of production. If the cost of production increases, your supply will go down. Then what about the prices? If the cost of production increases, prices will increase, people will not buy your products. So we will say the cost of production remains stable. It's only the price that is affecting your supply, not the cost of production. Alright. Next assumption that is taken is no change in the technology. No change in the technology means the technology is not upgraded. The technology, if you upgrade the technology, the supply will change. Right? So supply will not change because of the technology. It will change because of the price. So technology remains same. It is an assumption. Next is government's taxation policies also do not change. Alright. So government's policies also, if governments increase the policy, what will happen? Your supply will go down. Why? Because major portion you are paying in the form of taxes and very less you are contributing towards the production. It's nothing like that. The production will be affected or supply will be affected only because of the price, not because of government's policies, because government's policies are unchanged. They remain stable or they are constant, and that is an assumption. Next assumption is weather conditions remain unchanged. If the weather is favorable, and if you are suppose making sweaters and there is a lot of winter, it's high winter this time, the supply will be very good, whatever the prices are. But no, we say that everything, weather conditions are same, only price is affecting the supply. See, basically assumptions means leaving price, all the other factors are constant. Sometimes price does not play any important role, but any other factor may play an important role. But they say no factor plays any role, only the price plays an important role in changing the supplies. Next you have transport cost remains unchanged. See, sometimes not the price but the transport cost plays a major role. If the transport cost is increasing, your supply will be less, because if you supply more, you will be paying more through the transport cost. So they say no, transport cost is fixed, only the price is affecting the supply of the commodity. Next assumption is no price change in producers' goals, or we have next feature as no price speculation. As we've already studied, speculation means you know that tomorrow the prices will be more, so today you are supplying less, so you will supply tomorrow at a higher price. No, there's no such speculation. Today you are supplying at whatever price. So today your prices are increasing, your supply is increasing. There is no price expectation or speculation. Next assumption is no change in foreign trade. What do you mean by foreign trade? We have studied foreign trade means imports and exports. And what did we study? That if imports are increasing, means there is more of quantity in the country, so there is more supply. If exports are increasing, means you are supplying more outside the country and there is less supply in the country. So if there are more exports, that means you have less supplies in the country. But no, export is not affecting the supply. It is only the price that is affecting. So this remains stable. That is an assumption. Next is no change in infrastructural facilities. If the infrastructural facilities increase, if you have computers, if you have new techniques of working, then your supply will increase. But is your supply increasing because of the infrastructural facility? No. It is being increased or decreased only because of the price. So infrastructural facilities is neither becoming good nor it's becoming bad. Last assumption is no change in promotional activities. As we have studied that promotional activities help in increasing or decreasing the supply. As you are increasing the promotional activities, demand increases, and when demand increases, you will produce more and supply more. But if that means supply is changing because of this, but as per our law, supply does not changes because of any other factor, it changes only because of price. So there is no change in the promotional activities either. These were the 10 assumptions that we have studied under the law of supply. Next heading is exceptions to the law of supply. Exceptions means there are certain places or there are certain times or certain circumstances or situations where a law of supply does not work. That means exceptions. These are the exceptional cases where the law of supply is not working, or it's not implementing, or it's not being applicable. So those exceptions we will study. First is anticipation about future price. What do you mean by anticipation? If the seller anticipates future rise in the price, he may withhold the supply even if he is in a position to earn more profits. Even if the price is high, he will not release the goods. See, yesterday the price was 10. Today it is 12. Now he should supply the goods at price 12. Right, because the prices are increasing. That is our law says that if prices increases, supply will increase. But you know what? He knows that after 2 days it will be rupees 15. So he will not supply today. He will withhold the supply, and after 2 days he will release the supply. So he is going to withhold the supply because he has anticipated, or he has expected, or he speculated, or he has come to know the future prices. So he will withhold the supply today or stop the supply today, and he will release when the prices go on higher and on a future date. Next exception is savings. Savings means when you are increasing, when you have an income and you are saving out of that. So supply of savings is also an exception to the law. Saving increases with increase in the rate of interest, but after a particular limit, the supply of savings will not rise as in the rate of interest. This is because majority of the people who save the money have fixed income. They say the savings will increase with the increase in the interest. As the rates of interest, see, we are talking about some other aspect in here in this point. As the rate of interest increases, right, the people will, what they will do, they will save more. They know that they will get higher interest as they save more, right? So, but that is up to a particular limit. The supply of savings will not rise as in the case of rise in interest, because people who save, they have a fixed income. If you take today's rate is 10%, they say tomorrow it will be 10.2, then it will be 2. So, who was saving? So, our case is when the rates are increasing or when the prices are increasing, the supply is also increasing. Prices means you will rate of interest will be more, so you will save more. As the rate of increase increases, saving increases, but saving will increase only till a particular point. After that point, savings will not be increased, because you cannot save all the money that you have earned, but you have to spend also, so it will not work in the case of savings of the money. Next is need for urgent funds. Need for urgent funds means a businessman may face an urgency for funds, so sell out more goods even at a lower prices. See, when you have, I am saying I am waiting that tomorrow the prices will be 15, tomorrow day after it will be 18, so I will not supply the goods today, I will supply tomorrow in the with the increased prices. But I want the money today. I am a supplier and I want the money today, so I want to have urgent funds. So that urgency is causing me to supply at whatever rate. Instead of running in a loss, I will supply today at any rate because I want the funds today. So in that case, law of supply does not work. The producer becomes ready to supply at whatever rate or whatever price is available in the market for his products. Next is changes in fashion. Changes in fashion means if some goods become out of fashion, the supplier will supply even at the low rate. See, you have sales, then you have second sales available in the market. Buy 2 get 3 free, buy at 50% flat off. That means they are selling of the goods which are maybe out of fashion, or maybe they are stock clearing it. So in those cases, law of supply does not work. Even if at a lesser price you are supplying more. Next is perishable goods. Perishable goods means the goods which are not very long lasting. Some eatables, right? They are not very long lasting. Fruits, they are not long lasting. So even if you will not wait for 10 days for the prices to increase and then you will supply. If they are being spoiled today, you have to supply at whatever prices you will be just taking out of the products. So law of supply will not be applicable in the perishable goods. Next is recession. Recession is a period when sellers are forced to sell the goods even at a lower prices, because they know the prices will go down even in the future. The more prices will be, more falling of the prices will take in the future. So recession is even today the people or the suppliers are forced to sell at a lower price because there may be no demand tomorrow, because the people's incomes are also becoming low. Next is supply, or that is change or closure of business. Change or closure of business means the business has been changed or closed, so people are just selling off their products. The producer is selling off the products just in order to clear his stock. So he is supplying even at a lesser rate. So law of supply is not applicable in this condition also. Next is labor supply. Labor supply means if a seller is likely to change. See, workers normally prefer leisure after reaching certain amount of wage level. So after reaching that high level of wages, the labor supply will go down even if they are offered more wages. So that is a backward shift, you call it as. The supply increases, the prices increase, the supply will also increase, but that doesn't apply in the case of labor. Even if the prices of the labor, that is the wages, increase, the supply will not increase, because at some time they want a break from their work. So we have the exceptions that we have done. Next topic that we'll be having is variations and changes in supply. Variations in supply means it occurs when the quantity supplied contracts or expands due to changes in price alone. Here also we will study extension or expansion of supply, and we will study contraction of supply. Now, extension or contraction of supply takes place only because of the prices alone, no other factors. Always remember, variations in supply is due to the prices alone. No other factor will affect change in the supply of the product, that is either increase or decrease. Let us study extension or expansion of the supply with the help of a diagram. Extension of a supply may be quantity supplied of a commodity is more than the price, other things remaining constant. This is OY, this is OX, this is price, and this is quantity supplied. Alright, this is the supply curve. Alright, you are moving along the same axis, you will not draw any other curve. This is OP and this is OQ. Alright, now what is happening? The prices are increasing, the supply also increase. So prices increases from OP to OP1. The quantity supplied also increases from Q to Q1. Alright, this is the supply curve. Now what this supply extension says, in variations first thing we study is extension or expansion. The supply is increasing from Q to Q1 because of the change in price or increase in the price from P to P1. So the initial it was at OP price, OQ quantity was supplied. At OP price, OQ quantity was supplied, right, at OP price. Then what happened? Due to increase in price from OP to OP1. See, we have increased the price from OP to OP1. The supply also increases from OQ to OQ1. From OQ to OQ1. Supply also increases. This is known as extension or expansion of supply. That is, the supply increases because of the increase in the price, no other factor other than the price. This is the extension or expansion of supply. Next thing that we will study is contraction of supply. Contraction means supply is coming down or supply is coming less. That is also because of the price. Under contraction of supply, it occurs when the commodity supplied low goes down with the fall in the prices. This is OY axis. This is OX axis. This is price. This is quantity supplied. This is supply curve. Now this is OP and OQ. Alright, we say initially OP price, how much quantity is supplied? OQ. This is the price, this is the quantity supplied. Alright, then what happened? Due to price fall from OP to OP1. Now the prices has fallen down. Price has fallen down to OP to OP1. Alright, the quantity supplied also decreases. The quantity supplied also decreases from OQ to OQ1. Alright, so we say that extension and contraction of supply or variations in supply takes place only because of the prices alone. No other factors helps that. So initially the price was OP, so the quantity supplied was OQ, but there was a fall in the price from OP to OP1, and with that the quantity supplied also decreased from OQ to OQ1. Next thing that is under this study is changes in supply. Changes in supply occurs due to the factors other than the price. Changes in supply occurs when the quantity supplied increases or decreases for factors other than the price. Now variations, it was price alone. In changes in supply, we will see that supply is increasing or decreasing because of the factors other than the price. First we will study the increase in price. This is OY axis, this is OX axis. You have the price on the OY axis and you take the quantity supplied on the OX axis. This is supply. Alright, now you will study that you have the price This is OQ and this is OP. Now they say the supply is increased. So increase means it is shifting towards the right. In demand also, when demand increases, it shifts towards right. Supply also, it shifts towards right. Now when you talk about change, say price remains the same. Otherwise what we used to do, supply remained the same and price we used to bring down and forth. But here supply is increasing. Alright? This. And Q1. See, the quantity has also increased, but the price has remained stable. There are other factors which may have increased. Now we will study the concept. This is S1. This is Q1. This is some other factor. Earlier it was at OP price. This is not Q. This is OP price. What was the quantity supplied? OQ. Alright. This was the price. This was the quantity. Now due to increase in other factors, it could be any factors, it could be price of the substitutes or whatever, increase in other factors other than the price, what has happened? The quantity supplied increases from OQ to OQ1. See, can you see the quantity that has increased from OQ to OQ1? The supply has increased from SS to S1, S1. But that is not because of price, because we can see price. There is a single line. Is there any other upward, downward? No. So the supply has increased from OQ to OQ1. That is shift in the supply curve, and this is because of the factors other than the price. Increase in other factors, that is other than the price. This is known as increase in supply. Next is decrease in supply. Decrease in supply and the changes in supply. This is OY, this is OX, this is price. Here we have the quantity supplied. Here we have the supply curve. Alright, here we have the price. This is OQ and this is P. Now the supply, this is decrease in supply. So decrease means it is shift towards left. This is S1, S1. Price remains the same. See, the quantity has gone down. OQ1. You can see the quantity is coming back. It's falling short. So it was at OP price. How much quantity was supplied? Quantity supplied was OQ. Right? This was the quantity that was supplied. But due to change in factors or factors other than price, due to change in factors other than the price, we can see that the quantity supplied decreases from OQ to OQ1. Alright, this was change in the price, that was it was increasing, but now the quantity has decreased, that is decrease in the supply. It may be any other factors. Income of the consumer must have become low, so he's demanding low, so supply must be low. It's because of the income. The technology must have fallen down. There must be some wrong happening in the technology. There may be some breakdown in the technology, so less of the goods have been produced and less supply took place. So there may be many other things that would have decreased the supply, not the price, but maybe any other factors. Similarly, we have upgraded the technology, so we are producing more, so supply is more. So that is, we have increased in the supply. And the changes in supply, we study increase in supply and decrease in supply, where that is the supply is increasing or decreasing not due to price but due to other factors. Other factors we have just studied under features. And under variations in supply, we say that the price supply is increasing or decreasing only because increase and decrease in the prices and no other factors, assuming that the other factors remain the same.